Okay, hello. Uh, so I'm the title of this talk is "Getting Back on the Horse." Um,
Okay, hello.
oh, I'm hearing myself. Hang on.
So I'm the title of this talk is "Getting Back on the Horse."
Hang on a
Um,
second, guys. Something screwy is happening with my.
I'm hearing myself. Hang on. The title of
Oh, I
this
think I've got.
talk
Okay,
is
I see what's going on.
"Getting Back on the Horse."
Hang.
Hang on a second, guys. Something's
Okay, so my YouTube was open at the same time. Um, okay, here we go. So, the title of this talk is Getting Back on the Horse, um, sort of based on that old expression that uh, if you're riding a horse and you fall off and you get hurt, it's imperative to to get back on that horse and ride again, or otherwise you'll let the fear take over. So I'm getting back on the horse as far as doing my live streams again and just communicating, connecting again with my audience and seeing clients. If you are new, my name is Stephanie Conkle. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I'm also a hypnosis instructor, and I'm also someone who is very interested in the super phenomenal things that happen that occur in life. So phenomenon, a little bit metaphysical, but also I like to think of how it relates to the scientific as well. So I think that there's an integration of the two of those, and you can't really separate one out from the other. So I have been, 2020 and 2021 has been really difficult for many of us with COVID-19 and everything else going on, right? 2020 was okay for me, other than I, had to do the whole social distancing and the quarantining and all of that, and was just sort of anxious. But I actually did end up getting COVID the last week of December of 2020 that went into my 2021. And so 2021 has actually been harder for me because not only did I get COVID, but so did my dad, and my husband. My kids were fine, they never got it. But I was sick. My dad was very sick. He went on a ventilator because he had COVID related pneumonia. And I spent many months caring for my dad and his health. At the same time, I was trying to get myself better because there was something going on with me. One reason why I haven't been doing as many YouTube broadcasts as I used to is because of all of the sickness that I've had to deal with, not only with myself and my dad, and my community and my clients, right? But also just taking, something that was going on with me as well. And I had come down with severe laryngitis. And you can actually even hear that I still am hoarse. So about mid-February, I came down with laryngitis. I don't know if it was a result of COVID or something else, but I'm not sure what it was. But my work is using my voice, and I have to use my voice in all kinds of ways, especially when I'm doing hypnosis, to really get those hypnotic suggestions to stick, right? Um, so I have to use my voice in all different ways, and I like to sing. I love to sing. I'm not really a singer per se, but I just enjoy singing. So I wasn't really able to sing. I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to take clients for a long time. I was having to refer my clients out, and So it got to the point where I was like, okay, I've got to do something to fix this, right? So I went to a ear, nose, and throat doctor. He did a thing where you stick the camera down the throat. Ugh, that's so. I really had to go to my happy, safe place for that. They did that to me about like 3 times. And I'm sure in the future there will be more times. So I have to really go deep into my mind, deep into self hypnosis to have that camera down my throat. But they also did a CAT scan. And when they did the CAT scan, they found that there was a growth on my thyroid. And so they did a biopsy of the growth. And it came back that I had papillary carcino- carcinoma, which is cancer basically, but it's like the best cancer you can get if you're going to have cancer. I know that sounds weird. But it's not one that's very aggressive on the onset, but you still have to, you still have to deal with it so that it doesn't metastasize. So I ended up having thyroid surgery. Okay. A thyroid or partial thyroidectomy. So they took out half of my thyroid. And this is what this smiley face here on my throat is. And by the way, I'm not wearing makeup today because I kind of wanted to show you this is me. I'm not covering up who I am. This is me and my vulnerable self coming coming to you from a genuine place. Now, in the future, I'm going to have makeup on and I'll probably have this covered and I'll probably have sleeves and my videos will be more highly produced than now, but part of me getting back on the horse is just starting where I'm from. Like just starting where I'm at. And right now I don't have I do have some things to say, but they're not overly, well planned or highly produced or, maybe I've thought about them, but I haven't really rehearsed them or anything like that. So it's just whatever is coming out is just coming as a stream of consciousness from my heart. um, so if I had to, have something like so produced, I would not be able to get on the horse. So right now it's just like just take whatever small step that I can, and then I'll take the next small step and the next small step and the next small step, the next one, and then I'll grow from there, and it'll be easier every time I do these. One thing I did want to say was I've been getting a lot of comments from. Oh, by the way, hey, let me go back to my story real quick. So I had the thyroidectomy, and I'm doing great. It was a blessing in disguise that I had the laryngitis, or they would have never found the thyroid cancer. So my voice is coming back, obviously, and it's not as sexy and as sensual as it usually is, but I'm working on that. It is getting better. Again, you can still hear that there's still some hoarseness in it, but it's not like full on laryngitis where I just could not speak at all. And when I was talking, it was sounding really crazy. I was having to go up into this like falsetto kind of voice to even talk. um, that was hard. So I'm glad I'm knocking on wood. I'm glad I'm past that point. But anyway, okay. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was and thank you for people who knew my story and who were sending me prayers and well wishes and or just holding me in your thoughts. So I really really appreciate, especially for my dad too, because he's doing great. He's completely recovered now. Well, maybe like 90% recovered, but really doing so much better than he was before. And so I really appreciate all of you guys who sent him, well wishes or prayers or light and love. that has not gone unnoticed, and I appreciate you for that, and I love you for that. So thank you. Okay. Now to the topic that I'm trying to get to. So I had put up a video um, couple of years ago, I guess, at this point. Maybe it was 2019, 2018. And the video was entitled, Can you make me forget someone who's hurt me in hypnosis? Something like that. Something about can hypnosis make me forget somebody? And so in my video, I was sort of explaining what hypnosis could do and sort of the limits of hypnosis and why that's not even the right question to ask to begin with. But I want to apologize because when I made that video, I was making it from a state of being annoyed because I was getting annoyed with that question because I had a lot of people asking me that question. And I think I came across as uncaring. And that's not me at all. I'm here to help and I do care about you. And I totally get, dude, I get why you would want to forget somebody who hurt you, right? And especially if somebody was hurting you for a long period of time, whether that was physical or mental abuse or both. Um, I get it. I mean, hell is other people. Heaven is other people too. But if you get the wrong people, then that is what makes hell for you, right? If you go off by yourself and you're isolated and you're just looking after yourself, you might get lonely, but it's not necessarily hell for most people. But other people push you and they push your buttons, and people have their own neuroses that they're dealing with, and they don't know how to deal with it, and they take it out on you. And then it causes this whole feedback loop, right? And they have their own pathologies. And depending on what your personality is like and what their personality is like, and you could have your own pathologies, it really can make a situation of hell, right? So that's not good. And I don't, I'm not insensitive to that. In fact, before I got married, I had dated somebody who was a narcissist and who had been deliberately manipulating me and who had been making my life hell. Now, he wasn't physically abusing me, but he was psychologically abusing me. And I didn't realize it until much later. The point that I wanted to get across in that video, and I should have done it in a more loving way, and I apologize for not being as loving as I could have been. I think I may have also been tired, or I don't know. I'm not trying to justify my behavior, but I don't like the way the impression came off. And so I just wanted to apologize for that. But here's what I mean by, or here's the point I was trying to get across in that video. Hypnosis, hypnosis can make you forget somebody temporarily. Okay, you can have what's called hypnoamnesia, right? Unless you have a serious brain injury, right? You're not going to ever really forget them because they're going to be embedded deep in your subconscious mind. And sometimes when you deliberately stop looking at a problem, you're pushing it. Like, I think of it as a snake. The snake is out in the open so you can see it. And yes, it was horrible, but now you've learned from it, right? You know not to let it. I guess snakes don't bite. What do? They. Yeah, maybe they bite. Okay, so you don't want the snake to bite you, right? And if you've gotten bitten, then yeah, maybe you need to watch the snake or just kind of keep an eye on it. You don't want the snake to control your life by any means. But if you push the snake back into the grass, right, and you forget that the snake is there, then the snake can come out and bite you again and do harm again and maybe even do worse harm the next time. So you don't want that to happen, right? That's called repression. And repression is not a good thing. The better thing to do is to have courage to face the snake, right? Stand up for yourself, face the snake. And even if the snake is not in your life anymore, at least be able to extrapolate the lessons from the snake and then move on with your life. Now, that doesn't mean you have to forgive the snake. It doesn't mean you have to be in love, kumbaya with the snake, right? Um, Forgiveness, that's another topic I'd like to talk on later, but it's a much longer topic. And I think that forgiveness does play a vital role in your mental health. Okay, but for all intents and purposes for what we're talking about right now, um, you don't have to make friends with a snake. In fact, you don't have to even have an emotional charge around it. So with hypnosis, we can actually remove that emotional charge. So when you go back and you sort of relive the memories, you're not revivifying the emotions, right? You can look at it from a more objective point of view as if you're outside of your body instead of a subjective point of view where you're just feeling you're in your body, you're feeling all the emotions and you're being re-traumatized over and over again because you keep thinking of this snake, right? But with hypnosis, we can help you to like step back, take an objective look at it, disconnect from your feelings. What can you learn from this so that you won't be hurt again? And then how can we move forward into the future as a stronger, more powerful person with better resources? That's how I like to use my hypnotherapy for that, right? Hypnosis to help empower you, not to help repress some old to repress things that make you feel uncomfortable. Okay. Maybe you need to feel a little uncomfortable so that you don't get hurt again. Maybe you don't need to feel uncomfortable at all, but you certainly don't need to forget what happened to you. You need to remember. You don't need to remember the pain per se, as in you don't need to feel the pain, but you do need to remember that pain was inflicted on you so that you can better prepare yourself for the future, so you'll know what signs to watch out for in the future, so you can help teach other people to look out for those same signs, like your children or whoever that may be looking to you for advice, right? I get it. I get that there are some people that you're like, God, I just wish this person had never come into my life. I wish I had never met this person. In a lot of times that person who you wish had never come into your life, okay, at least from the people who had been asking me for amnesia sessions, right? Hypnoamnesia, to forget somebody was usually either a spouse or like an ex-spouse or the father of their children. And it's like, I don't even know how that would work. How could you forget the father of your children if someday you'll probably have to deal with the father of your kids again because he's the father and he can show up at any time, right? Perhaps, or I don't know, maybe he's got a restraining order or whatever. But not only that, but your child shares DNA with this man, and maybe there's something in your children that you can help, help them with, because so maybe if this person was very pathological or narcissistic or something like that, maybe if you see those same symptoms in your own children, maybe you can get them help at a younger age so that they don't perpetrate that same behavior, right? Or inflict pain on other people. I'm not saying that they would. I'm just saying that that's just, you know, an anecdotal case that where that could happen. Um, so, so what I'm saying is to forget that, to forget even like the DNA lineage of your children could result in actually being more pain and more harm to either your children or society at large or yourself in the future through your own children. I know that sounds odd to say it that way, but it's better to come at it from a place of power. And when I say power, I don't mean like dominance. I mean power as in your as in wholeness, as in you know who you are and you are the best version of yourself. That is what power is to me, being the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, not only for yourself, but for your family, your children, and for society at large. So coming into the best version of yourself so that you can help others, right? And you can help yourself. Okay. I hope that I hope that made sense. I know I sort of went tangential there. But but the thing is that I get a lot of people asking that question and they do, you know, share some part of their life with the perpetrator, unfortunately, and they're tied to them forever. And so so I can't even logistically see how that would work, right? To forget them because they're still a part of your life, whether that's, you know, fortunate or unfortunate, they're still a part of your life. Um, on a more metaphysical or spiritual level, for those who are interested in more of the spiritual side of things, and my belief, this is just my personal belief, and of course, believe whatever you want. But my belief is that also when you're sort of placed with those type of people, they're like a touching stone, and they sort of they help. I know this sounds weird, but I think that they help you in some way. They help develop your character. They help you become a stronger person. I think on a spiritual level, sometimes we have to battle the adversary. We have to battle the adversary for us to appreciate the good and to know what we're really capable of, right? So that we can live to our fullest potential. And I think there are a whole bunch of reasons why we would be put together with an adversary. And you could also be an adversary to someone else, and you might not even realize it. Or you might realize it. You might be pushing someone else's buttons, right? And they might not, that you know, can't stand that, but you're helping them in a way too. So, out of everything bad or that is looked upon as bad, there is always a silver lining. There's always something good. There's always a lesson to be learned in the bad. And even if that lesson is that person is so horrible, I will never treat anybody the way they treat me. That's a good lesson, right? You will never treat anyone because you know how it feels, because now you have more empathy, more compassion for other people for having gone through that situation, right? Sometimes you have to walk in someone else's shoes to really understand like the pain and suffering that they're going through. For me, for example, I know I'm a better human altogether because I have an autistic child. And I know before I had an autistic child, I know I was kind of maybe a little flippant or distant about people with special needs children. And I have a cousin with Down syndrome. So I'm not talking about that. So I was always very, loving towards my cousin and everything. And but I guess I just never really, I could never really put myself in the shoes of my aunt and uncle, his parents, and what they had to deal with on a day to day basis, having a special needs child, and just even how it affected them emotionally. It was just kind of like, you know, sort of like not my problem. Of course, I was young. uh, it wasn't even not my problem. It was just like I just didn't even think about it. It just wasn't in my realm of consciousness until I had a special needs child. And now it's like, oh gosh, and now I understand the emotional pain and the hardship, and just getting through the day to day is not easy. And I have so much more compassion for the caregivers, and even for the kids or adults that have special needs. I'm much more compassionate than I was before. Part of that, I guess, is maturity, but the other, but a bigger part is that I've walked in the shoes now, right? And I've suffered, so I can understand your suffering at a deeper level, which actually helps me with my clients because I have compassion for their suffering. So when they come to me for help, I really want to help them, and even my audience too. I really do want to help you. And so when I'm giving advice or explaining something or teaching something, it's really coming from a place that I want you to know this information because I think this can help you live your best life, right? And I endeavor to come at it from a place of authenticity and not from, some fake inauthentic place. And that's partly why sometimes I come to you raw, like today, like no makeup, and just speaking from my heart because I want you to know firsthand that I'm as genuine as I can be. I'm not 100%. I've got my Facebook profile and my Insta and all of that, and I put up a lot of memories that I want to keep and remember, a lot of happy memories. And I get people say to me all the time, like, wow, is your life really as great as it seems? And the answer is no, it's not. That's just what's been curated on my social media because it's the way that I want to go back and remember things, right? And I'm not a person who, I am an optimist. I'm not a pessimist, and I don't want to recount all of the negative stuff going on in my life. But I have plenty of hardships in my life. I mean, we all do. Even the richest person, even Jeff Bezos. I'm sure he's got his own set of problems, different problems than what we have, but we all have problems. It's not, life is hard, but you can rise above the, what do I want to say? Not the hardship, because I think you, to an extent, we have to go through some of the hardship, but just by your attitude and the way you approach life, you can approach life with a lighter touch. It doesn't have to be so heavy. It doesn't have to be so serious. You can approach it with a lighter touch, and you can live a lighter, happier life in that way. And I don't mean a shallow life. You can have a very deep and meaningful life, but it doesn't have to be dragged through the pain and the suffering. Um, I don't like to go back and talk about pain and suffering, and more than I need. Like like in the beginning of this, I was explaining why I haven't been on YouTube in a while. because of my sicknesses. But I didn't really go into all of the details and relive it and revivify all of the pain. And I didn't really paint a story of pain for you. I'm like, that happened. That was a thing. It happened. I got through it. Everything is good now. And I really want to emphasize that everything is good now. All is well. And if you just keep gratitude in the moment, just keep mindful that in this moment, all is well. Everything is good. There is nothing wrong in this moment, right? And when we think about the past or the future and we're either depressed because of things that happened in the past or we get anxiety about things that might happen bad in the future, we're really robbing the present moment of the full potential of what it could be. And we're robbing ourselves of happy memories, right? A happy life is a string of happy memories, as many happy memories as you can build upon. You're not going to have a happy memory every single moment of your life, but the majority of your life can be happy, can at least be appreciated. And so when you bring gratitude to the moment, you just get into this sublime power. You realize that you really are wealthy in so many ways. And you may even realize that you're happier than you thought you were. And you can just feel the peace of the moment. Let's do that now. That sounds good. Let's all take a nice deep breath. And just let out any negativity, tension, tightness, or stress. And just be present in this moment. And smile. That's important. And open up. And send gratitude. Okay. That felt good, didn't it? So one last thing I want to mention before I sign off is I know I get a lot of requests. Most people that follow me on YouTube are young men or men like between 25 and like 45, I'd say, something like that. And I get a lot of requests for hypnosis. And the thing is that even though I do hypnosis and hypnotherapy and I do profound somnambulism and I can get people into the non-awareness state, most people, not all, but most people, fairly easily. I don't do a lot of hypnosis online when I mean, I do it online, but I don't do it one way. So if I can't see you and I don't know how you're responding, then I don't feel like it's very ethical or safe for me to do any kind of deep hypnotic trance on you. Okay, so we can do it online, but I have to see you. I have to make sure that you're responding to my suggestions. I have to make sure that you're awake or you haven't fallen out of your chair if you go into hypnotic sleep. I have to make sure that you're safe. I have to set up some safety commands for you. So if I'm just doing hypnosis, like online, I try to keep it in a lighter state so that you're safe. But I know that people want the deep hypnosis. And so if you're wanting that, just contact me through my website. You could go to clearliferesults.com. And then there's information there for how to contact me. It's better to contact me through my website than through my email. Because a lot of my email has been going to spam lately and I'm not sure why, but I haven't been getting a lot of important emails even. So you could also, if you're, so that's, if you're wanting, if you're a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist in training or want more training, you can go to stephanieconkle.com. It's just my name.com. And I've got lots of training videos, especially for advanced hypnosis up there. I'm thinking about doing a series and putting it up on Venmo. So I don't know what that's going to be yet. I'm going to see what you guys want. In fact, you can leave that in the comments. So if there is something in particular that you would like for me to do hypnotically, leave that in the comments. And then I'll probably set up a little Venmo portal for you to enter through, but I don't want to do this publicly on YouTube. I want there to be more of a setup, and I want you to be in a safer environment. So, okay. So that is all that is on my mind for today. Well, it's not all that's on my mind, but all that I'm going to talk about for today. And I love you guys, and I hope you are doing just super awesome. You do have everything inside of you. You have all of the resources you need to actually be the best version of yourself and live your best life. Okay. Ta ta. I'm signing off now. And I'll see you in the next video.